This is the Pam Sowder Podcast. With over 2 decades of field and corporate experience and voted one of the most influential women in direct selling, Pam helps mesh the daily needs of distributors to everyday life challenges. It's time to get over yourself, fire up your productivity, work less, and live more. Learn the self-limiting hashtag F-bombs holding you back, fear, frustration, and failures, and turn those F-bombs into friendships, fun, and freedom. Ready? Let's get this party started.
I get asked a lot, is this a pyramid? So how would you answer this question? I used to get asked this a lot as well. And what I found, the questions or the comments that led up to that question that were coming from me led that person to think that this might be a little scammy or this could be one of those things. So what I started doing is I started asking them, if they asked me, is this a pyramid? Then I would ask them, why do you think that it might be? What led up to you asking me that question? And a lot of the times it was because I was so excited about what I was doing that I was talking about big money, getting wealthy or getting rich. And I was using all those wrong words, thinking that that's what people wanted to hear, which is, in truth, that's what they want to hear. However, that causes red flags to go up in their brain, and then they start thinking, oh, this is not right. There's something wrong with this. So I stopped. I stopped leading with those types of comments or those types of questions, those types of remarks, and I stopped getting, is this a pyramid? So think about that. And then out of the blue, you could get asked that, is this a pyramid? So here's a great answer. Say no. Simply say no. Just say no and look at them. Because the last thing that you want to do is get into perhaps an argument or a rebuttal from them, and then you come back with one, and then you go back and forth, and the next thing you know, everybody's a little pissed off and walking away from each other. So we don't want to get defensive, and we definitely don't want to get angered by it. It's a legitimate question based off of probably the remarks. Again, it goes back to the remarks of the questions that we asked leading up to why they asked that. So just respect it and just say, absolutely not. No, it's not. And then get quiet. And you don't want to answer a question that has not been asked. And so they asked, is it a pyramid? You say no. End of story as far as I'm concerned. And then I just look at them. A lot of times they'll go, oh, okay. And then they might say, well, what makes this different? What makes this different than what would be called a pyramid? And then you can go into a little bit of an answer if you want, such as, oh, It Works has been in business since 2001. They're a very reputable company with high integrity. They've been mentioned in Inc. 500, Inc. 5000. They've won a lot of awards. They just won an award for Best Place to Work in Palmetto, Florida. And, just tell them your story. Just tell them what your experience has been with It Works. Have you met leadership? Have you been to one of their events? Have you gone to conference? Have you met people outside of yourself that are doing really, really well? And then have you met people that are new and that are just getting started and that you're excited for them? So don't be opposed to the question. Don't get all wigged out. Don't stammer around. Just really, truly say no and let the conversation evolve from there. And also, as just a little side note, is there something within you that perhaps thinks that it's a pyramid? And if there's an inkling that you're really not trusting it quite yet, you really don't have your confidence up yet, and It Works, then perhaps maybe you need to do a little more due diligence on our company, start taking the products more regularly, getting the results that you want, just talking to other leadership to get your belief level up there. And I can promise you, as time moves forward, you'll never hear that question again. I probably have not heard it since you just asked it prior for years. I never get that when I'm out on the street. So it's a way that I'm leading into that conversation with that person. You're going to love this. You're going to love this question when you first start getting it again, because now you're going to have really great answers and you're going to feel more and more confident, then you'll hear it less and less. Okay, here's another question. Why do people quit? Why do people quit? I used to wonder about this myself, because here we sign up, we pay money, we're very excited, almost all of us in the beginning. Nobody's twisting our arm, making us do this, making us feel guilty if we don't. We legitimately want to sign up for the most part. So we pay hard-earned money. We get a website, we get that started, we start asking people. And then somebody says something to us. It could be our own spouse. It could be our best friend, our mom, our dad. It could be somebody that we don't even know, but they say something that just knocks the wind out of us. And we start to question, what did I just do? And we give up right away. I've had people come on board and I couldn't find them the very next day. They were already gone, out. They wouldn't answer my text messages or my phone calls, my emails, nothing. They were gone. It's as though they never existed. It used to blow me away, and I used to think, whoa, wait a minute, what is wrong? What did I do wrong? And then I would go back and answer that question. Is there anything that I could have done differently? And most of the time, 99% of the time, no. I did exactly with them what I did with everyone else. I gave them the information they needed. I was there for them if they needed me. And so they just quit. They just quit. And then I started looking around at other industries. Let's take real estate, for instance. A lot of people take a test, pay a lot of money, take a test. It's brutal as well. Pass the test, get the real estate license, start buying the signs. I mean, this is not free. You pay a brokerage fee. You have to buy the signs. You have to do your own advertising, everything. They actually start, and within a couple months, if they haven't sold a house, they give up. And I would say that's the vast majority of real estate agents. And then let's look at the kids. How many kids, let's say boys, for instance, join Boy Scouts and ever make it to Eagle? I bet it's less than 1%. And then what about Sandlot football and go all the way through to the NFL? I guarantee you it's a small number of guys that really put the effort in, the energy, and have the talent that go all the way to the top. So it's not just our industry that people quit. People quit life. People quit marriages. People quit boyfriends, girlfriends. People give up very, very easily. And typically it's that 1% that are very persistent and that continue to learn the necessary skills, gain the confidence as they go along the way, that actually stay in and go to work and not give up on themselves and their dreams. And so what does that do for you on the other side of that? How I overcame it myself was to not get bitter. At first, I would get bitter if people quit and took some of their team with them and went to another company that I really know most of the companies in the industry. So I'm wondering, why the heck would they do that? They were rocking it. They were really starting to get their rhythm down, starting to understand who they were, starting to gain their leadership skills, and they took off. When it got a little bit tough, when maybe their check dipped a little bit, maybe somebody on their team left because of legitimate reasons, such as illness in the family. Have got to step back a little bit, so they get a little discouraged, and they take off running. And you're like, wow, I thought we were great friends. I thought we had this huge relationship here. I thought we were doing this together, and here you are, you're gone. And it's heartbreaking. It's gut-wrenching. I'm not going to say it's easy, because you really start to analyze, is this business good? and you start to question your own business when you know the business pays you, the products are legitimate, you've met the corporate team, you love your upline, sideline, downline, you love everything about it, but because somebody else left, you start to question your own abilities and your own team and your own knowledge. So that's one of the things that we really need to guard, and that's our thoughts wrapped around other people quitting. They just quit for some reason. And a lot of times we will never find out the answer because they don't even know themselves. Something starts happening in their business. Maybe they just really can't take the leadership and they self-destruct, self-sabotage. I've seen this happen. I've seen people get to a top level position and the heat is so high there and they feel so inadequate but they would never acknowledge it. It's so subconscious that they don't take the time to look at themselves, to go within and to get quiet and figure it out. Instead, they look outside and they start to find things that are wrong. And I'm telling you, if you look hard enough, you're going to find stuff that you don't like just to take yourself out. It doesn't mean that they're real. You just will find it. I want you to go back and think about somebody that you dated. I mean, you were fine with them until you weren't. And then when you weren't, you started overanalyzing everything about them. And the way they chewed gum bothered you. The way they walked bothered you when before you thought it was so cute. So did they change? No, you did. You changed. And maybe it's time to go, and that's okay. We are fine with that from a corporate standpoint. What we're not fine with is starting to come in and burst other people's bubbles about things that are not truth and they're legitimately not happening. And that hurts a lot of people that really care a lot about their business and their teams and are really working hard. So people quit. People quit every single day, a lot of different things. And as we have always heard in this industry from a great guy that was tremendous in mentoring me, which is Jim Rohn, just don't take that class and try to figure that out. Just go, okay, they're gone. Now let's move forward. Because at the end of the day, you want to be the one standing. You want to be the strong one. You want to work through whatever's holding you back. And if you come across that idea of, well, maybe it would just be easier to quit, I can assure you that it's not. The grass is truly not greener. It needs to be watered and nurtured and cared for where you're at. And if you can work through these thoughts, and a lot of them are not true, they're just thoughts that come in because our ego wants to keep us at a certain level to feel safe. And when we start to break free from that level, and that level could be a certain amount of money, it could be a certain amount of leadership, it could be any number of things. There's so many factors that could be involved that keep us stuck where we're at that we really need to look at and we really need to analyze. And the way that I do that is I ask myself this very simple question. If something comes up, I'll go, is that true about me? Is that true about me? And I get really quiet and I answer it. If it's about the company, is that true about the company? Does everybody feel that way? Or is it just that person? It's maybe something they need to work through. Because you don't want to give up on the business that you've created. You know, we've got people that left years ago, a decade ago, and if you look at their numbers, their downline, there's hundreds of thousands of potential dollars there that they just left on the table because they got scared about something, or they got lazy, or they didn't think it was working. When 17 levels down, here comes somebody that comes in and just starts to blow it away and just create this massive business. And you don't want to miss out on that. So I stay the course. I work through those negative thoughts that pop up. I work on myself, on my leadership by reading, listening to the right people. It's so vitally important. Listen to the ones that are still doing the business in such a great way, in such a legitimate way, a way of integrity. Because when people leave, the thing that they want to do is take everybody with them. And they try very, very hard to do that, which hurts so many people and so many people's businesses. And I just don't want you to be that person. I believe so much in everyone and the skills that they have and can develop that I would love for you to, if you ever felt like giving up, that you reach out and reach up to somebody that's been here for a while, done that for a while, and can coach and mentor you to get you through that breakthrough, just like I've been through. So many of us have been through. All of us at some point felt like giving up. It's so easy to do that. It's so easy to quit and say, well, I'm going to go over here and start over here, but you're taking you with you. That's the problem. It's like, somebody just told me the other day, it's my son-in-law. He said, I used to date the same girls over and over and over, very destructive, same personalities, different bodies, until I realized I don't want that anymore. And he changed. He changed his attitude. He raised his standards, and he met my daughter. And I just think that is so honest that he could face that, work through it, and realize it wasn't the girls. It was just him and what he was attracting at that point in his life. And they were who they were, and it was their journey, and they needed to move forward wherever they were and discover that for themselves. And so people quit. What do? We keep moving forward. We keep understanding that I want to get to the next level of leadership. I want to get to the next level of income. I want to have that big team, that huge team. I want to sit on that white couch. I want to get recognized at these events. I want that leadership position. I want it, and I deserve it, and I'm going to go after it. So I'm going to stay the course. I'm going to learn the necessary skills. And if people quit, then I'll love them. I love them on the way in. I'm going to love them on the way out, but I'm not going to look down that path. I don't want to take myself off that course. Great question. Okay, here's another question that I'll read to you. It's a little bit long, but it's a worthy question. How do you push out of the worst funk you've ever hit and come back stronger than ever when you've hit hard and have to rebuild almost your entire business? I want this more than anything. I'm just a tad downtrodden at the moment and facing a ton of anxiety and stress. Please help. Thank you so much for being so open and honest. I truly love this question because at some point we've all been there, and we can go through this several times within our business because this is a business and it will always have its ups and downs. Nothing is ever just smooth sailing all the time. So if we will really take a great look at ourselves and our businesses, which it looks like you're starting to take a look, we will see that they correlate with our efforts, our desires, and our enthusiasm. Now, when we slow down, the business does too. I used to wonder, how do people know that? How do people know that I've taken myself out for a couple of weeks? Because you just get quiet. It's like a hush goes over you and your business. They see that you post less, that you're reaching out to them less, and they start to question that. Then that kind of takes their energy out and the energy down. And before you know it, that trickles all the way through your organization. And we don't want to give anyone a reason to slow down. Now, I understand that life happens, and at points we have to step away and take care of life, but we can always stay connected and stay tapped into our team. So you're in a funk, the worst one ever. So how do you come back stronger? There is no better way than just taking bold, massive action. I don't know of any other way, but the action that is bold and massive needs to come from a place of fun and excitement and exuberance. It can't come from a place of desperation, Because right now I'm sensing a little bit of desperation because you're facing a ton of anxiety and stress. So that tells me that you're coming from a place of, oh my gosh, I'm about to lose my business. I've got to get it going. I don't even know where to turn. I don't feel good. I don't have the energy for it. So what we want to do is back up a little bit, reach down deep, go back to why you originally started the business. What was it that caused you to want to join? What was it about It Works, or perhaps another business that you're in, that you absolutely fell in love with it? What was it? What were you desiring? Why were you going after it in such a big way? Don't try to go back and figure out what happened and what took you out and what started causing the stress and anxiety. Don't try to figure that out. That's wasteful energy, wasteful time. The best thing you can do is get back in the game and get back in it bigger than ever and go back deep into that why, the reason that you started it in the first place. Get excited about it again, get giddy. Come back to your team and be honest. Say, look, I don't know what happened to me. I went down a rabbit hole. I got lost. My desire left, and it was nothing other than a fickle brain. I have no idea why I did it, but I'm back stronger than ever, and I am here to help. I'm going to be bringing in a lot of new team members, a lot of new customers. I'm trying the new product line, the new keto line. I'm going to get my mind right, my body right, and just do what you say. Go back, get busy. Taking awesome action based off of that why and not action based off of anxiety and stress. And you can turn this around really, really quickly. You'll be surprised what will happen. You'll have people that will text you out of the blue. You'll have people come back to life. You'll have some people break away. Some people will say, oh, I liked it when she was quiet. I didn't have to work. Now she's back. I'm going to have to work. I don't want to work. I'm out. And that happens too. So a lot of people think, oh my gosh, this is just going in the opposite direction. But really, it was there all along. You just didn't realize it because you were so dormant and so quiet. And now they don't want in anymore. And that's okay too. That's fine. You decide. You can get this back and roaring by your actions based off of enthusiasm, desire, and the willingness to get back into the game in a big way. And this may happen again throughout your career, and that's okay too. Not everybody is game on 100% of the time, and I think that we think that they are, and we need to give ourselves a break and realize that at some point you probably got tired. Something happened, you sat down, the next day you sat down again, and before you know it, weeks went by, perhaps months went by, and now you're looking back and going, where was I? You can't even remember what took you out in the first place. So just start having fun again, getting back out there in the game, taking that action that you know what to do. You know how to sign up customers. You know how to sign up distributors. You know how to build people through the steps to success. You know how to help people promote from executive all the way to ambassador. Just go do it. Have fun. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Pam Sowder Podcast. Be sure to check out my website at pamsowder.com. There you can get inspired, listen to more podcasts, read and submit Ask Pam questions that could be featured on an upcoming podcast episode. Be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And as always, much love and appreciation.